Hello and welcome to another edition of the One Team We Agree On. I'm Jillian.
And I'm Kyle. How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. I have a broken foot still, of course, but it kind of hurts. I don't suggest breaking your right foot, which of course you need to use for driving and have to drive as much as I do for work.
Yeah.
So I'm in a little pain, but I'm feeling great after the Union win.
Hey, let's talk about that. I mean, yeah, it was a great, exciting night. In NYC, Union pick up very needed 3 points here.
hmm
Kind of back in the playoff hunt now, sitting there at ninth. With some important games to go, which we're going to discuss today. And if you're listening now, I'm sure you're feeling pretty excited, maybe cautiously optimistic,
Yes.
but we're definitely going to talk about that today. Recap a little bit about the game, big game from Pickle Rick.
Yes. Pickle Rick.
Yeah,
Pickle
so
Rick. Woo.
for those who've been watching him coming up the academy, then with Union 2, you kind of know what he has. I mean, he's had some bumps this year, but what 18-year-old goalkeeper wouldn't have those bumps?
And how many 18-year-old goalkeepers are making team of the match day?
That's
What?
that's 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 true too.
What a season. We'll get into it.
Yeah, and then just kind of talk about a couple other things to get ready for this weekend. Back home, which what seems like it's been forever,
Does feel like forever.
with a regular season tailgate and just kind of back to the festivities, so to speak. So, but before we get started, what are we wearing today?
Well, in honor of the fifth and final goal of last night, I am wearing Jesus Bueno bootleg MLS shirt, and that was exciting because he has really been not getting the playing time that you kind of hope he would.
Mm,
But he got in and he made the most of that opportunity, getting a goal and a nice one at that.
yeah, and I am wearing a lucky jersey.
Nice.
Haven't worn it in ages, so I thought I'd
hmm
bust it out a little bit tonight. Love this kit so much, but where can people find us?
So you can find us on Twitter at TOTWAG, on Facebook and Instagram at the One Team We Agree On, also on YouTube at the One Team We Agree On. We have our website, theoneteamweagreeon.com. I have my TikTok, Jillian_Almany, which I'll be posting more stuff to. So give it a follow if you're on there. And find us on all your places you get podcasts for the most part. We're on most of them, I think.
Yeah, so let's dive into it. I kind of want to put a little cap on the bow, so to speak, on the Inter Miami game because we were on with Mike and Todd prior to the kickoff. We actually also done our own little kind of like lineup announce kind of thought. So you can listen to that. But I kind of just want to talk about that. We haven't been live since then, in between with these two games because of our week. But I mean, realistically, considering no Andre Blake, no Danley Jean Jacques, I mean, it wasn't a bad performance against probably the Shield leading team
Yeah.
with Messi back. Of course, Messi has to come
Of
back
course,
for
that's
that
so
game.
Union. Of course, Messi comes back just in time for it.
But, there's also a lot to be desired, I felt at times with that game.
Yeah. So first of all, going into it, thinking, well, it could possibly be Pachuca 2.0
Mhm,
and be horrific because you got Messi coming back, and you got Messi and friends, and Miami's been good even without Messi,
mhm.
and you don't have Andre, who is hard to replace, of course. So it was a tall task. That being said, it was great to see Mikel come out and score like 1 minute and 1 second into the game, I believe it was. So that was awesome. But they had chances and they didn't capitalize on the mistakes that Miami was making. And then, of course, that came back to bite them as Messi was inevitable, like Thanos. Um,
But
he happened, but yeah.
I think that's right there, the tale of kind of that match right at the beginning there. Ua comes out, gets a nice shot that beats Calendar, and then here again, Union get another chance. Moments, almost felt like moments later. You
Mhm.
know, Ua doesn't finish. Bariba doesn't really finish. Counter made a nice save here, of course, but there was that chance, and there was a chance a little bit later too with Ty. And it's like, okay, right there, you had early within the first 15 minutes, you had an opportunity to go up 3-0 against a team with Miami at home. I mean, on the road in Miami. I mean, with Messi. Inter Miami looked a little rusty with the break off. Obviously, one of the things early on was even they said they were doing a good job neutralizing Messi. And throughout the night, I
Yeah.
thought Messi, like we said, is inevitable, but they did a good job neutralizing. But back to that, even in the second half, it was the opportunities that the Union were getting. Sam Adeniran had an opportunity, couldn't capitalize to tie it up when it was 2-1.
Yeah.
So there you look at it and go, okay, again, I think, what is it? After that game, it was what? Most points dropped from winning position. I think it was Tom Bogert put that out. And then, you didn't have one of the highest XGs, and then Jim mentioned even last night after the presser that they have one of the highest, was it big chance missed, opportunities, or big chances missed, or something like that.
Yeah.
Regardless, it's not the offense. So, I mean, Messi's going to do Messi. But you kind of just thought that, hey, maybe if one or two of those chances, we're having a different story.
Yeah.
What else are you thinking?
Well, um, yeah, like they really held up better than I thought they would. I thought Rick was okay. Obviously, he did much better against NYC, which we'll get to. But the first goal, I don't think even Andre saving that one. But the second and third goal, yeah, I think Andre probably saves those. But, I thought Rick has really grown into this role a bit, that there's more confidence there. He didn't seem like last year was piss poor when the Union played Miami in Leagues Cup and they were all like starstruck,
Right.
except for like Brujo. I miss having Jose Martinez in there.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. But I thought they did some things well. There was definitely some positives to take from it, for sure. I thought the defense came out in the second half, and they definitely, I think, played with some heart there. Um
You had
the
asked Jim that
I
question.
did ask Jim about that. Okay. Definitely a positive take. Now, of course, yeah, they can always be better.
Mhm.
And and I know, like, and Jim said he could live with Jack getting that yellow because, you know, it I mean, honestly, if he doesn't do that,
Well, and let's,
well,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah,
go
you can
ahead.
play the clip.
Do you
Yeah.
want to play it?
Yeah, go ahead, play the
All
clip.
right, let's play that clip here. So let me share screen here. So yeah, you had asked Jim about that, and
Yeah, about the defense in the second half.
half, and especially, well, no, with Jack being out in the back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so you have to remain aggressive. What you want to avoid is the silly yellow cards where it's for maybe saying something to a ref or kicking a ball away or delaying a restart or something silly. So you want to try to steer clear of those types of yellow cards. In the instance with Jax, it's still a 2-1 game. The best player in the world is just dribbled by and he's going to his left foot at the top of the 18. I can live with that tactical foul that Jack commits. I got frustrated with what happened before that led to Jack getting stuck in that situation. Some other guys could have maybe put out a fire a little better so it doesn't lead to that. But suspensions are a part of the game, especially with defenders. The yellow cards can tend to add up at this stage of the year. Sometimes you catch breaks against other teams and missing their players because of suspension. Sometimes, like in this instance, New York catches a break with us being without Jack. But like I said, we're a team. It's 11 guys. It's an opportunity for other guys to step up and do the job. But yeah, certainly being smart now, especially for Kai, who's one away. We want to be smart in how we handle the game. Still stay aggressive, right on that fine line, but you don't want to pick up any silly yellow cards for sure.
Yeah, so I'd asked about that. This was the pregame presser
Mhm.
before the NYC match, and I had asked Jim about how they're gonna be aggressive and but avoid the yellows possibly because if the Union lose Kai, well, they're lucky that Kai didn't get a yellow and have to miss the NYC game, which especially we
Yeah,
talk about how he did. But could you imagine like the problem that would have been?
that would have been a problem.
Yeah.
But I mean, overall, you took it away that, hey, this was a good match. Sure, maybe Rick could make some better saves. Union capitalized on
Mhm.
his chances. But I just remember afterwards, everybody was like, okay, that's not as bad as it could have been.
Did we expect to win that game, Kyle?
I was hoping for a point
I was
because,
hoping for a draw, but
yeah,
you know, it's not a game where I'm like, my God, we should have won that. Thought we were gonna win that, and we choked. Now,
now can I,
yeah,
and because Todd brought this up in his podcast, and a couple other people have brought it up too. Let's say Union get in that 8-9 matchup here, all right, and they, win the 8-9 draw. They end up playing Miami, best of three. You're gonna have to go on the road once, at least, probably twice. You hope maybe twice. You still want to maybe steal the first game, and you could even close it out at home.
yeah.
Do I see it happen? No, I probably would say best case scenario it goes three, and then you hope on that third game. But how you feel having to go 3 games against Messi and friends?
I honestly feel like the Union could go toe to toe with them a bit. I'm not as worried about how they'd face, especially if you have a healthy Andre.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if they actually capitalize on mistakes, because Miami does make mistakes, Miami does allow goals.
They allow goals. They
They
also
do,
score a ton.
but they also score a ton, and they've been known to come back.
Mm-hmm.
They'll cough up the first goal and then they come back. So I'm just saying Miami's beatable. They are. That's not gonna be easy,
No,
but they're beatable.
they are. So, leave a comment. I mean, what do you guys think? If that were to happen, you make the playoffs, they end up facing Inter Miami at some point. Do you feel confident, A, the Union going on the road, and B, if it be a 1 game match, maybe they meet them in Eastern
Mhm.
Conference semis or the best of three. How you feel? So, yeah, I mean, overall, it was you wanted to see him get a point at least, but all right, move on.
Yeah.
So then we head to last night.
Well, before we
Okay.
before we do that, no, couple things to talk about with Miami quick.
All right.
All right. First of all, yeah, you did have Messi posing with Kevin.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is fine. Like, listen, I don't begrudge this 14-year-old getting a picture with his idol. Okay.
Yeah, I get it.
And
And I
and of
really
course MLS wanted that.
everybody
Everybody, yeah.
where I have it's like, okay, let's pump the brakes a little bit on this. I get it for
Yeah.
marketing purposes and all that. I do,
Yeah.
but it's like, all right,
Yeah. So
whatever.
I'm whatever on that. No, I have a rant though. Okay.
Oh,
Okay. MLS. Why do you even bother having a poll for player of the match day or goal of the match week when you put Messi on there? Because all the fanboys are gonna vote for him. It's a popularity contest. Messi's goal, that one play, goal of the match day, was not even close to being what should have been the goal of the match week. It was the worst one out of the choices. I think Mikel Ua's goal was not much different than Messi's first goal. It's like, congrats, you had a very mid goal against an 18-year-old backup keeper. Okay. And I looked at the other goals that were the contenders, and I'm like, those goals were all better. And no, they were. They were. But
well, no, I'm not disagreeing. It's
yeah.
like, what do you expect? I mean, the
But
Messi
of course.
fanboys are going to come out, but hey, it is what it is when you're an international superstar like he is,
Yeah.
and one, if not the greatest players of all
Yeah, like,
time.
listen,
Yeah,
there's respect, he's
he's
good.
great.
But I'm just saying, like, that shouldn't have been even nominated for. It shouldn't have been one of the choices, honestly.
But MLS is
But they
coming
want the
to.
engagement, and that's what
I
it
mean,
is.
he won player of the match today. Now, granted, he had 2 goals and assists. I'll kind of tip my
Yeah.
cap to that. I did not have him as my first vote on the media vote.
Mhm.
I did not have him first. Will not reveal who I had first, but he was my second. He
Yeah.
was my runner-up. But
But yeah, I just had to say that because it's like it's so stupid. Like,
yeah,
you know, no matter what, like, of course, they're it's gonna get voted like that. But anyway, likewise, of course, now Cavan ran away with the U2 Golden Match Week when he got. I mean, he's a recognizable name for that, but also it actually was deserving because it was a golazo.
it was good. It
But
was good.
anyway, so I just want to say that, and anyway, so yeah, we can wrap up and get to the NYCFC.
So after the match, I kind of excuse me. I kind of took it out a little bit
Mm-hmm.
from our clips, but you know, Danley did get in at the end of the Inter Miami
Yes.
game.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jim said, you know, he kind of was asked about post match. He
Mhm.
kind of said, you know, just wanted to see how he's doing. Should be good for Wednesday. Well, lo and behold, on Tuesday, Jim came out and basically said him and Andre are still working back.
Like day to day.
Yeah, which everybody was kind of like, hold up, wait a minute. I thought, you know, he played a couple minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Jim kind of said, you know, his first ankle injury, we'll see how it goes. And so you kind of pause and go, okay, did you rush him back maybe a little too much? Or are you just being cautious? Because let's be honest, you know, one game, you got 5 left, you kind of want to keep him healthy. And
Mm-hmm.
ankles are a weird thing.
They are, and as someone who has badly sprained an ankle before,
It can go up and down.
yeah, like they are tricky.
So, you know, Jim said, you know, we'll see their day to day. They're both questionable. At the end of the day, you know, we'll see what the update is for Sunday. But I think you kind of make the smart choice here, kind of just giving them back, especially with Andre and his history this year. You kind of want to rest him. I know
Mm-hmm.
Mike, Ty, and I talked about that on our episode about maybe it's the time to shut, you know, him down for the season. Maybe, maybe not, but you just definitely want to be cautious.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Any thoughts on that?
No, I mean, yeah, I think err on the side of caution. Andre, I think, has been kind of rushed back at times, and
Yeah.
then he's gotten hurt worse, and so, and hey, hindsight's 2020. It certainly worked out for Wednesday. So
yeah, let's get into that a little bit. So
yeah,
you know, obviously those two don't score start, but I want to talk first because I didn't see most of the game because A, I was driving home. You were listening to it more. B, I was just kind of getting some updates. But I get done practice. I kind of had it on and I periodically look.
yeah.
And last night I went back and watched the entire game late. I was burned midnight oil. I will say this. First and foremost, the Union kind of did the same thing they did against. They came out hot, like they have been, and so that momentum, that belief is there, especially on the offensive side.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, Rebo starts off, gets a great goal. Then, you
How
know,
about that header from Bizo?
Bizo gets it in, Rebo being in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
Then does a nice play, dumps it off to Mikel. Mikel was clinical. Then Gazdag being in the right place, crashing the net. Freeze drops the ball and knocks it in. And, you know,
We're at Gazdag.
I mean, that's what I mean.
Yeah, Gazdag. Yeah.
Who did I say?
No.
Anyway, yeah, Gazdag.
Gazdag.
So it's the first time those 3 have scored in the same game.
Yeah.
All those 3 have scored.
Yeah.
So that was awesome to see.
You'd love to see it.
And then, you know, of course, as I'm listening, NYCFC scores.
Right on the last play before the half.
And you can say, okay, maybe you could do a little better there. But
it could have easily been 3-2 going into locker room 2 because there was that really big missed opportunity that NYC. Like, it was crossed right in front. It was like, should have been an easy goal for them, and they missed it.
Right, yeah. So, I mean, by the time I got home, it was in the second half. Rick had made a couple big saves. I saw the one where he scooped the ball out, but let's talk about just kind of. I want to listen to some of the Jim's post game remarks here to start off.
Yeah.
So we're gonna play this. Kind of go back here. I'm gonna play his opening comments here.
Shorthanded, missing some key players to suspension, an injury. But the guys had the next man up mentality, and I thought performed really well. That's 3 games in a row now where we've really started with the right intensity on the road, even including the Miami game where we just didn't kind of take our chances. So really proud of the group. I think that they've had a playoff mindset and a playoff intensity because we've put ourselves in a situation where we have to, and we have to find ways to take points in hard places to play like this. To score 5 goals on the road, the players deserve all the credit. Some timely big saves from Andrew Rick as well, which you need to win games. So overall, a complete team performance. Almost a perfect first half, but we let ourselves down right before the end of the half with about 5 seconds left. They got to see Angry Jim at halftime because of that, and it wasn't because of the fact that we conceded a goal. It was because the fact that the body language in the locker room was guys were so upset, which I get because we conceded before half, which we don't like to do, but we're winning 3-1 on the road. And I wanted to give them, encouragement, say a few choice, hard words, but they had a good response in the second half and took care of business, which was big. So this win means nothing if we don't go home and take care of business now in our next 2 big games, but certainly a big step forward and a really good win.
Yeah, I want to be a fly on the wall for Angry Jim there.
I want to find out what was said, but you know what? Honestly, as a coach, I kind of also have a kind of an idea, but I think that he brings up a great point there. There's been times this year where they have conceded late in the first half. You're up 2 goals. We know about 2-goal leads sometimes, especially what we saw this summer.
Yep.
And we were kind of saying that, NYC comes out right at the beginning. They had some good chances there right at the beginning of the second half. They put one of those in. It's a dicey second half after you've been up 3-0.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think first off, let's talk about Andrew Rick. So
Andrew Rick, holy smokes.
So we've seen him now with
Pickle
Union
Rick.
2, with the first team. We've seen him have some highs, and we've seen him have.
We were there in Montreal.
Yes.
And it was not good.
But again, this is, first off, congratulations to him for being goalkeeper of the match day. I think that is awesome.
Tremendous. Plus, and for the Union to have 3 players on there, I mean, Jacob Glessness rightfully makes team the match week as well, and Ty was on the bench for it. So
I thought just from what I watched back the game. Yeah. Sure, maybe there was a couple times, Max Morales hits the cross, but there's a couple times, maybe a better team knocks one in, but you could tell he was feeling it. His confidence on the saves. Yeah. Still, he spills the ball a little too much, tries to punch it out where maybe Blake makes the save. But I saw a comment on Twitter, actually 2 comments, where people were like, oh, where was this? Well, Jimmy says it there. He means an 18-year-old keeper. Where was Andre Blake? Now, we're not comparing Andre Blake to Andrew Rick or vice versa. We're just saying, look, I mean, you see the potential with this. This is the same stuff we've seen plenty of times at Union too. Now we're starting to see some of this talent on the first team. So, hey, it's good to see.
Yeah, the confidence is building.
Yeah, and I thought he's at times had some decent command of the defense, which Kai has talked to you about, and we'll get to Kai in a little bit. But about that was always the thing, the presence of Andre commanding defense. I thought at times, and also shout out to Jacob. There was that one time that spill, and then they bounced right to him, and they shot back, and Jacob cleared it right out.
Jacob had a tremendous game.
He did, and
that was like defender of the year, like Jacob Blessness, like, I mean,
there's still concerns on
there's
defense.
still concerns, but I have to say that's some of the best he's looked. This season
what
in a
was
while.
it? 26. You allowed 26 shots. That's not great. But I will say this, and I thought Harrell played well considering it.
Considering he's out of position.
And there was and I think he kind of gave up that goal.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there were times where he cut off some passes, made some good key plays.
Yeah.
Kai had a great game. So it was Flock had very solid, and Jose had asked the question, so he posted that. So go back and listen to that. He had, and I agree with Jose, he had a sneaky good game.
He did.
There
and
was
that's
a
what he
lot.
tends to be,
Yeah, the defense was good, but yeah, at the same time, they did allow a lot of opportunities that if a better team, like I called Todd after, I think it was the second after Ua's goal, I was driving home. I said, what am I missing? Because I hadn't seen much of the game. And actually I called him right when that third goal went in. I said to him, I said, what's your biggest takeaway? And he said, it's that NYC has no attack. And he was right.
Yeah, it was definitely, I think, great for the confidence. Andrew Rick, you could see just a clear difference than what we saw in Montreal. He not only played with confidence, he made some incredible saves. And shout out to him for being on the Sports Center top 10. It was like number 2.
Yeah.
Like,
that's great.
That is awesome. Like, number 1, just for soccer to be getting that recognition, but for our 18-year-old Andrew Rick.
Yeah, NYCFC put 9 shots on target. Rick saved 7. Plus, really, again, cleared out some really dangerous chances. So solid performance on the night.
I thought it was funny that the commentators were talking about the fact that that he's called Pickle Rick and they didn't know what it was referencing. Rick and Morty, people, Rick and Morty.
Just a couple other quick notes. First, Mikel Lewis scores, his third goal in 3 games.
Yep.
Hasn't done that since 2022. Around the same time, he scored his first goal in Atlanta, his last goal against Orlando. You were at that game. That was when I was in Vegas at the coaches convention. So
yeah,
he had that streak. I think it was Atlanta, Toronto. So good for Mikel. Kind of finding something. Hopefully he doesn't repeat, because I think after that he had 1 goal after that and none in playoffs. But so that's good to see. And then Kai Wagner.
Yeah, let's talk about Kai.
Yeah.
So after training back in July, I had gone to training and I interviewed Kai, and I have an article on our website. You guys can look for that. It's I think it's like from July 19th or so. And it's a conversation with Kai, and you can listen to the audio of it. But anyway, Kai brought up that he was 2 assists away from being the all-time assists leader for the Union. And Sebastian Letou has the record at 50. Well, Kai tied him last night, tied Letou for assists. And so now he sits at 50. So that's tremendous. And I asked Jim about, commenting on Kai tying that record and what Kai has brought to the team. And honestly, I'm so glad that the Union re-signed him this year. Could you imagine they didn't have if they didn't have Kai?
Yeah, it's unique that our left back is our one of our bigger chance creators, probably our biggest. So he's among the top when you look at the data, and whoever wants to debate what a big chance is, we could sit and argue over that. But we lead the league in big chances missed this year. I just learned that fact. But Kai's created a ton of opportunities for us. He's up with Lucho Acosta, Carlos Gil, Cucho in terms of chance creation. So from the left back spot, that is special. Obviously, restarts help, add to that total. But the assists for a left back, that left foot on service and crosses, and the work that Frank does with our set pieces, it pays dividends. And Kai is a real weapon. I love his defending first and foremost. He's very, very steady, cerebral, wins his battle almost every night out, and has been in really good form down the stretch here. And I hope that continues into the playoffs. Yeah, it's unique.
Yeah, so I look forward to seeing hopefully Kai take that record. I mean, he's gonna get it, I think, sooner or later. It helps that he does a lot of the restarts, he does the corners, that sort of thing. That certainly helps with him getting the assists, but he's just had a tremendous season. And I think that, and I've said this before, he's been maybe the most consistent player of the team this season. I know Todd Lewis has ranked him as like one of the best Union players
I
of
think
all
I
time.
think of the defenders he's at. I would still argue, and I agree with a couple other people. Harrell's probably our best defender on a good night, but I think in terms of just defense,
Yeah.
but I think in terms of the complete defensive player that can also create,
Yeah.
it's Kai far and away.
Yeah.
No, it's good. I had asked something during Leagues Cup with Jim when he he was a couple away.
Yeah, and
About that. So,
yeah.
we've had some conversations already this year, and so that was good.
Yeah, and honestly, Kai didn't have a real good game against Miami.
No, he
So
didn't.
it was good to see him have a really strong game and to tie that record. So good for Kai.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to talk about the whole team. I mean,
Yeah.
I tweet after the game. What a great bounce back win
It was a
because
great team win.
yeah, it was because then you get Glesnes, you
What
get
a header, that goal.
Bueno gets a goal with,
Yeah.
I was going to ask, Jim, hey, you say all the time decisions have gone against him. Well, now he's made the most of another opportunity.
Yeah.
Where do you assess him right now? And he kind of mentioned it in another question, so I kind of laid off of it. But he said, for him to not have those opportunities and then to capitalize is just great to see. He thought he played well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so shout out to Jesus. So yeah, I mean, I think again, it's resilience, but now we'll get to this, question. These next games, we got DC, we got Atlanta, coming up. I mean, the Union are 5-5-5 on the road.
Yeah. Yeah, they've been good on the road.
But we're I think Todd put out stat today. We're one of the best on the road the last
crazy.
Yes, which is great. Well, it's great to see.
It's great, but considering how at home Subaru Park used to be such a fortress, and now it's kind of swung the other way.
Well,
but
just this year, I mean,
just
historically, but hey, look, here's the great part. Now's a chance to change that narrative too. We'll find out what Andre and Danley's stats are, but do you need to get 6 points in the next 2 games?
I think yes, they need to win these 2 home games.
I don't disagree.
It would certainly help and not put immense pressure on that. You definitely want to take care of it earlier rather than later trying to get those points.
Especially with decision day, you have
Cincinnati and you got
been
Columbus before that.
Well, you got Columbus who's trying to move up the table away. And then you have
We're going to, by the way.
Yes, and then you also have the best home team these last couple of years on the road in Cincinnati. So, I mean, again, you're gonna have those last 3 games. Orlando is all of a sudden red hot.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna do it, you gotta do it now. Jim said 15 points. This is 6. You get 4. Now you got 3 games to get, another 3 points. So do I think maybe they can squeak out a surprise in Orlando? Sure. Maybe they squeak out one in Columbus. Who knows? But
who knows?
I think that if even let's say they get 4 points, a draw and a win. All right, I'll take that. Now you're gonna have to go get a point or 2 on the road.
And maybe get some help from
and get some help, and then you're gonna have to
have
definitely get something on decision day.
We don't want to have to rely on getting help.
I mean, if you lose a game and then you win a game, that's like the bottom floor. But if you get anything less, unless you're getting some breaks, you're gonna have to put the chance. So I think it's important for fans. Hey, and there's some people have been really, kind of turned off this year. But I think this is an opportunity. Hey, if you're around these next 2 weekends, show up.
Yeah.
Get loud. Make sure these players feel the energy. Because hey, I mean, right now we're kind of starting to click, and they got the little bit of momentum. And so somebody say, "Well, what happens if this isn't like a late Seattle has historically been
Yeah.
great on these late season runs and then takes it into playoffs? What's to say Union don't get hot, go rolling right into the playoffs? Sure, they would have to go through Messi and friends most likely, or probably even if they get to seventh, they're going to have to go through Columbus or
Yeah,
Cincinnati.
so it's not gonna be easy, but
But hey, go as far as you can, see what happens, and we'll talk about 2025 when we get to 2025.
yeah, I think Jim said, like, I wouldn't wanna face us in the playoffs or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, and honestly, yeah, and you look at the Red Bull game away, you look at the game at NYC, like, those were definitely confidence building games, and hopefully they can keep that momentum going, like, that's the Union that we expect to see, and so
So yeah,
yeah.
but then there's also the wild take. So my wild take is, and I was chatting this is, what if, because you've been so good on the road, they don't take care of business, but then they go and like surprise, Orlando and Columbus. You get 4 points there. Maybe you get a win on another one, and somehow you just back into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that? And then it's like, okay, Union are on the road. Well, they gotta, find a way. But hey, at the end of the day, right now they're currently in ninth place. We'll see what happens this weekend.
Mhm.
Anything else?
Well, yeah, we'll be at the tailgate, the Sons of Ben tailgate.
Yep.
We'll be there on Sunday. Looking forward to it. I feel like it's been forever because um we were at a wedding for
Mhm.
the Nashville home game. I think that was the last well, that was the last one before Leagues Cup break, wasn't it? And then um so like we really didn't have, and like I was away for one of the other July games, the Red Bull home game. And then I was there for the Leagues Cup, but Leagues Cup was different. So I really missed like the regular stuff, to be honest. And there was like the weekday game against Columbus that Union lost. And I was up in the press box for that, and you weren't there.
Mhm.
So I'm just excited for like a normal game, and I hope the crowd shows up,
Yep.
and um we'll see what how my foot is, because I've been scooting around on one of those mobility scooters, like scooting around like a maniac in the hallways at school,
Are you a
taking it down
maniac,
taking
man?
it down the ramps and all that, like zooming. It's kind of fun.
But
But
no, it'll be good to be
yeah,
back and see everybody. Oh,
yeah. I'm debating if I'm gonna like need to take the crutches, or because I don't want to take the scooter in.
right.
But I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But yeah.
Yeah. So, and tomorrow I'm gonna go down and interview some players
Yeah, you're
tomorrow.
going to Union 2 training, and
Yeah, I'll probably even go over to first team training.
yeah, yeah. So,
So, I'll be down there. So
and
look
I'll be
out.
there Sunday
Yeah,
or Saturday rather.
you'll be there Saturday for the open practice.
Yep.
So we'll be around. We got some stuff coming out to come up. But also hopefully I don't make another blunder at the press conference.
Oh, yeah. I'll be interested to see what Todd Lewis's blunder of the week is,
I
because
mean,
we know what it should be.
we should be. I mean that if anybody was on the press conference earlier that is listening to this, I do
You know what he's
apologize.
talking about.
Yeah, I thought my mic was on mute and it's telling you to get your hand up and
Yeah.
yeah. So I can't wait to shout to Nico. I'm gonna ask him more. I'm like, how much were you dying when you heard that? So anyway, yeah, blunder on my part was kind of mortified, but yeah,
Yeah.
it happens.
Yeah.
Um
At least you didn't say anything like,
could
that
you
was really
imagine?
embarrassing.
Could you imagine? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But anyway, no. So yeah, looking forward to seeing everybody. And if you're listening, you're going, come by, say hi if you see us. So
Yeah.
probably be at the tailgate or Union Yards. And until next time, this is the one episode of the One Team We Agree On.
Yeah, make sure you like and subscribe and leave us comments, because we love hearing from you. Hit us up on social media, and you know, leave us comments if you have ideas for us. Let us know, and we definitely look forward to hopefully seeing you around.
Yeah, and until next time, I'm Kyle,
I'm Jillian.
and we'll see you at the game.